So it was recently announced that former Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer will be joining the Jackson State Tigers football program in an analyst position, right? And y'all, this is monumental, like in so many different ways. This is a former NFL head coach who was coaching the Minnesota Vikings for 8 straight seasons. He's also a former defensive backs coach for the Dallas Cowboys when they won the Super Bowl in 1996. Mike Zimmer knows what he's doing. He knows football. He's a guy who has resources and connections to the NFL level. So putting him with the Jackson State Tigers football program I'm talking about, that's next level stuff. That's big time. That's a big time hire by the Jackson State Tigers football program. And Mike Zimmer is doing it off the merits of Deion Sanders, the guy that he used to coach. He swears by Deion Sanders, and Deion, man, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm looking at this. Deion is doing the Lord's work at Jackson State. He is doing the Lord's work, assembling not only a top-notch recruiting class, but also putting together a 5-star level coaching staff as well. Last year, I remember when Deion when he secured Travis Hunter, and he was basically saying that he was promising that he will recruit against Power 5 programs. So he secured the #1 player in the nation to come to an HBCU, something we had never seen before, right? We never seen nothing like that. That's why people were just like marveling at it and wondering, damn, Deion really got the job done with this, man. But it's no surprise. I mean, Deion is a football god, a football giant. And the kid plays defensive back, the same position that Deion Sanders played. So why wouldn't you want to learn from the best to ever play that position that you play, right? But then it's like this. He's taking that same energy and putting it into creating a Power 5 level coaching staff. Like, y'all, this is for real. This is for real, man. Not only has he hired Mike Zimmer, but earlier in the season, he added the assistant strength coach Maurice Sims from the University of Georgia, who will run the strength program at Jackson State. He also hired former Minnesota coach Tim Brewster, who coached the tight ends at Florida last season. So look, all these power moves that's being made, it got everybody. All the rumblings have started. Everybody is like, oh my God, right? But not only that, I've been hearing murmurs saying that. I've been hearing all these murmurs. What if Deion? You see what Deion is doing at Jackson State? If Deion can do this at Little Jackson State, imagine what he could do for a Power 5 program. Imagine what he could do for a Power 5 program if he's doing it at Little Old Jackson State. Just can you imagine what he would do at a big school with a big program? Let me just say this. Y'all talking heads on TV and all y'all little different media pundits, stop wishing for Deion Sanders to be whisked away from the HBCU ranks to dwell amongst the Power 5 schools. Stop wishing for him to leave the HBCU ranks to go to the Power 5 conference programs. Cut it out. Cut it out immediately. Like, stop pushing him out of Jackson State. I don't like that. Deion Sanders is exactly where he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be at Jackson State University. If the Power 5 schools wanted him, they would have given him an opportunity when he was first trying to seek a vacancy, when he was trying to fill a vacancy, when he was first trying to become a head coach. They would have hired him then, right? If they wanted him that bad, if he was supposed to be there, they would have hired him during that time. But now they seeing what he's doing at Jackson State, and now they want a piece of him. No, leave him right where he needs to be. He is breaking down barriers for the HBCU programs. And as an alumni of an HBCU, like, I promise y'all, like, as an alum of an HBCU, it makes me smile from ear to ear. Because if Deion Sanders wasn't there, they wouldn't be talking about HBCU football. They wouldn't be talking about the SWAC. They wouldn't be talking about the MEAC at all. It took a football giant like Deion Sanders to go to an HBCU to get the world to be on notice. It couldn't be a regular guy or a mid-tier player. I'm not saying a regular guy. It couldn't be a mid-tier player or just a player that was very, very good. It had to be an all-time great who the world is enamored with, like Deion Sanders, man. I'm so glad he made that move because it will inspire other all-time great players, other all-time Hall of Fame football gods. Possibly it could inspire them to want to coach at the HBCU level. Because just imagine if we had not only Deion Sanders at Jackson State, if we had Jerry Rice at his alma mater and my alma mater, Mississippi Valley State University. Just imagine if we had it's like some of these all-time great players that come and just coach at the HBCU level, man. It would do so much for these programs that are in desperate need of that. Desperate need of exposure. Look at the exposure that Deion Sanders is bringing Jackson State. The world is on notice. Everybody want to know what's going on at that program. Everybody is paying attention to whoever Jackson State University plays. They covering the game, which not only brings a spotlight for Jackson State players, but also all the other teams throughout the SWAC that the Jackson State program plays, right? So all this, can you imagine what he would do at a Power 5 school? Can you imagine what he would do at a big program? Can you imagine what he would do? No, I'm not going to imagine none of that. I don't want to imagine that. I want to imagine him being successful and doing well at the HBCU level at Jackson State University, right? The Power 5 schools had their chance to get him, and they didn't secure him. They didn't care to try to secure him. So don't try to come running now, right? Let Jackson State enjoy the fruits of having Mr. Primetime on their campus, and let the HBCU football ranks enjoy the awareness that Coach Deion Sanders is spreading about HBCU football, man. Deion Sanders don't need no major college. He don't. He is building something strong and beautiful in Jackson, Mississippi. He can stay at Jackson State and help turn them into a major program for real. He can stay there and help turn them into a major program, man. And again, I hope he inspires other all-time great football players to go to the HBCU ranks and coach these programs, man. They need it. We needed the playing field to be leveled, and that's what Coach Sanders is doing, right? He is setting a foundation for greatness at Jackson State. You know what I mean? And Coach Prime got folks spending money and bringing money to Jackson State University, right? I saw this like about a week ago or something like that. They got a partnership with, I think, Delta Airlines as the preferred way to travel for student athletics. Like, when have you ever, come on, man. These different endorsements don't come to HBCUs like this. These different programs and all these opportunities don't come to HBCUs like this, but they doing it because Primetime is there, right? The guy that they grew up watching, the guy that they grew up marveled by, right? The guy that the football guys swear by. You know what I mean? Like, just think about all this awareness that's happening. Troy Aikman is posting about Jackson State University on Instagram. On his Instagram page, he posting about JSU. You got Rex Ryan down in Jackson, Mississippi at Jackson State University. They never would be caught dead on the campus of their school. They would be caught dead talking about Jackson State if Deion wasn't there. So just imagine what they got, the HBCU games on ESPN 1 and 2, not ESPN 3 where you got to go on the internet and try to figure out and find what a game is, right? We're not just at the ticker at the bottom of the screen anymore. They talking about it on FS1 Undisputed. They talking about Jackson State playing on all these different shows on ESPN. This is big, man. Deion don't need the major programs, man. The major programs need Deion Sanders. And they also need the black players who are attracted to the Jackson State program now that Deion Sanders is there, right? We got to remember, man, the players make the program. It don't matter what it is. The players make the program. And Deion Sanders being a head coach at Jackson State will lure better players to come to the program, which creates it will lure better players to come to Jackson State, which creates a better football program, which also in turn increases the university's revenue. Okay? But again, I don't like all these folks trying to push Deion Sanders to a Power 5 school, trying to push him over there. What if Deion goes over here? Go over there. Why tease the Jackson State alumni with a taste of relevancy just to pull the rug from under their feet? Just to pull the rug from underneath their feet. That don't sit right with me, man. The whole point of Deion Sanders going to an HBCU is to demonstrate that HBCUs can prepare and hone a player for the rigors of the NFL, and that they can provide this preparation if they have the correct resources, facilities, and proper leadership, which is something that Coach Prime is bringing to Jackson State. You know what I mean? And he's not just looking out for Jackson State University. He's looking out for all, like a lot of other HBCUs, offering to put money on put names on the back of the kids' jerseys in a SWAC, helping Mississippi Valley State University to get a better field, right? To get turf. You know what I mean? To get another scoreboard, so on and so forth. To help these schools look like the big time programs, to help them get that big time feel so the kids can have confidence about where they're playing, and so that the other people can look at their programs and look at it and look at the other programs across the SWAC and across the MEAC in admiration. And don't look down on these other schools. He's trying to help bring resources to all these other schools. Getting who is it? Alcorn State or somebody? Who was it? They were trying to help get trainers. Was it Arkansas Pine Bluff or Alcorn State? They were trying to help get trainers at the other school. The school was down on the medical staff. He was going to bring medical staff to that university, a rival school in the SWAC. He was going to do that for. right? So Coach Sanders is bringing great things to not only Jackson State University, but to other schools throughout the SWAC, trying to be the proper leader to get the ball rolling in a major way, man. Like, I'm looking at this, man. Coach Prime can create a movement to put HBCU athletics on the map in a way to lure top black talent that hasn't been seen before since the 1960s. And y'all know, all the college football, the GOATs of football, back in the day, they all came from HBCUs. All of them did. From Walter Payton, again, to Shannon Sharp, all these different great, to Michael Strahan. All these, they went to HBCUs. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, like, y'all got to cut that out, man. He don't need them. Oh, he got to go to the big program. Imagine what he can do to the big program. Put him over here. No, man, he right where he needs to be. To hell with him going to a big-time major college program. To hell with that, man. With years of due diligence and such as excellent recruiting, surrounding the kids with an excellent coaching staff, and improving resources at the university, Deion Sanders can turn Jackson State into a major college football program itself. So I don't like all that. Again, I wonder what he would do at the big schools. It's only a matter of time for the big schools start coming. You got black analysts on TV. It's only a matter of time for the big schools start calling, smiling. Just imagine what happens when the big schools start calling. Hell no. I'm not imagining that. I don't want to. Right? Because that narrative comes from people thinking that Jackson State University is not good enough for Deion Sanders. That's what that narrative derives from. Oh, that school ain't good enough for Deion. What? But them other Power 5 schools, y'all saying Deion wasn't good enough for y'all back then. So now he good enough because he proved himself at that little old school, that little old Jackson State University. Now he's good enough and worthy enough to coach at your schools. Get the hell up out of here with that, man. Like, for real, man. Like, they had their chance to get Deion. So why the hell should Deion sell out to the major program when he is helping the HBCU program? The HBCUs level the playing field and get endorsements, get resources that they strongly need. We know how much these schools struggle, how much they need, how much these HBCUs need a lot of these resources, and Deion is helping to bring them to the school. So why the hell would he want to leave, man? The job is not done. Just imagine what he could do with years of due diligence at Jackson State. What he could help build, man. This is bigger than it's bigger than just Jackson State. It's about all HBCUs in general, man. And I see what he's doing for all these different institutions, creating awareness about what needs to be done at this school, that school, this school, that school, right? Having a school take part of his salary just to get things done around campus because it means that much to him. That's an honorable black man, y'all. And we need to support Coach Sanders and his staff at Jackson State and get behind what he's doing at JSU. And how he is changing, not only get behind what he's doing at JSU, but get behind how he is changing the way that other black colleges and their athletic programs are viewed throughout America, right? I don't want Deion Sanders to go to these so-called major programs because he is the reason why the world has a watchful eye on HBCU football right now. And if Deion Sanders were to leave, the mainstream media will not want to cover HBCU sports at all. If he was to leave, they wouldn't care. They caring now and they stopping and listening because Deion Sanders is there, right? A guy who was the perfect salesman, the guy who had the perfect marketability as a player. He's bringing that same marketability and sales pitch and he can sell damn water to a well. He's bringing that type of bravado, that type of charisma, that type of flair to HBCU football and making the awareness come to the HBCU football programs. He's increasing the awareness and putting all the watchful eyes on the SWAC. Come on, man. They're talking about Jackson State versus Mississippi Valley State versus Grambling versus Southern versus FAMU, right? Versus Alabama State, Alabama A&M. They talking about him, Jackson State versus Alcorn State where Steve McNair went. So that matters, man. All that, stop trying to whisk him away from Jackson State. Stop trying to do that. I don't appreciate it, and I don't like it at all, man. He's right where he needs to be at Jackson State University. Live with it. Let it marinate all in your spirit. Let it sizzle on your spirit. Let it sizzle in your heart. That's where he is, y'all. Stop trying to push him away to Alabama, and he's not gonna take Nick Saban's job, but stop trying to push him away to all these the Big Ten, to the SEC, ACC. You know what I'm saying? Pac-12. They had their chance. He right where he needs to be, man. Let the HBCUs have their time to shine. He's in a swag where he needs to be. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.